and we are back to the leaderboard, of course. So we will be discussing about leaderboard. I think I should just give another 30 seconds before more people join, so everybody can see if who have made to the leaderboard, in case some of them are missing. Yeah, let's give another 30 seconds. All right, so let me just share the screen and share with you the leaderboard for the quiz that we held yesterday. So we have 4 people who have touched the 15 mark. It's good to see some of the names who we have seen commonly. First of all, congratulations to Kerala Shivakumar for making it at the highest rank, which is 16 out of 20. It was a tough quiz, and I'm glad that we have students who have touched the 15 mark. So congratulations to you, Kerala Shivakumar. Then we have Muhammad Abdul Ikram. Congrats to you, 15 out of 20. Asiya Jabeen, 15 out of 20. Bharat Kalyan Gedela, 15 out of 20. Guys, congratulations to all of you. I am extremely happy that you are all here. I know for sure that some of the names that we often see are not here, but those names are there in in the figure of 14. So a lot of you, about 10 of you or more, have scored 14 out of 20. So you are almost there, but not to worry. We have a lot of opportunities coming ahead for you. All right, so like we often start with some important informations and conversations from our Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Praveen Thakur. I am sure that you all are willing to hear from you the importance of why and what we are doing here and how it is going to build your overall knowledge and why basically you need to learn what you are learning here. So before we begin with the technical session today, I would request Praveen sir to take the uh, stage here and start talking about today's topic. I think he'll be discussing about consensus algorithm. Hopefully, he'll be touching upon some other points as well. So Praveen sir, I hope everything is good. First of all, thank you for joining us today. And if we can begin the conversation ahead.
Thank you, Deepak, and welcome all of you. Like Deepak mentioned, this was a relatively difficult quiz, and very pleased to see so many people scoring 15 and above. And many of you have also touched the 14 mark, which is extremely good score. Now, I think while we definitely, these scores are just an indication of how good you are learning, and I think I am pretty convinced about this batch, where your learning curve is very, very steep, and I think I do appreciate that. But at the same time, we also need to keep in mind that whatever you are learning here, these learnings need to be implemented in the real building process. In fact, I was speaking to one of a very senior executive leader from Polkadot this evening. I had a meeting with him, and one thing that he said that I think he's pretty excited about what IBC Media is doing and what you guys are trying to become. All these things will definitely be reflected into the kind of work that you are doing. And very soon we will be kind of finishing our module 2, and we will be getting into module 3. We have very extensive plans of making module 3 very, very effective for you. In that will be the test. Right now you are equipping yourself with all the tools, arsenals, And the real test will happen when you start building applications in Polkadot using all these things that you are learning. And I'm pretty excited to see that. And I'm very sure that this batch will produce fantastic applications, and and your journey to becoming a true Web3 developer will be realizing very soon, with the goal with which we started. Okay, so now, having said that, uh, let's start with a very important topic that Deepak kind of alluded to, is consensus mechanism. Now, you definitely, Selva sir has talked about it, Deepak has talked about in the past. I just wanted to give you some backdrop of why is this important, and what does it really mean when we say consensus. So let me start by saying this. Now, say for example, when you are talking about a centralized system such as a bank or any such system which really has, which has the centralized control of the system's rule. Whatever rules, if you go and talk to, a banker, the banker will tell you that these are the 5 things. You can deposit at this rate, you will get this interest rate. If you deposit for so much duration, you will. So all these rules are finalized by the bank, right, by the entity, and that entity takes all the critical decisions which are required for that ecosystem to function, for that bank to function, right? But the moment you come from decentralized system to a decentralized system, such as all these permissionless blockchains we talk about, now this question becomes extremely important, because there is no person sitting in the center and saying, okay guys, do like this. There is nobody like nobody playing that role here. Okay, now that is where and especially, as you guys know, blockchain is basically a chain of blocks. All these blocks are having transactions embedded into them, and blocks are continuously getting formed one after another. So who decides, which order the transaction should be there in the block? Who decides whether all the transactions which have found their place in a particular block, they're valid ones, right? What should be the next block? Which block should be finalized, right? So these are all very important questions which are ultra critical in a decentralized kind of system. And to solve this problem, we have a consensus mechanism. So basically, consensus mechanism is nothing but a mechanism which gives confidence, or which gives an assurance of a particular state of a blockchain. Now, let me tell you about, when I say state of a blockchain, what do I really mean by that? The moment I say state of a blockchain, then what I really mean that what, say for example, which addresses hold how much account. For example, state 1 could be, I am having a 5,000 dot tokens in my account. Now I give 1,000 dot tokens to Deepak Singh. Now this is a transaction. After this transaction is effected, my account will hold 4,000 tokens, and Deepak Singh's account will hold 1,000 tokens. Now this is a state change. So what really happens, that there are several transactions which get initiated in a blockchain all the time by different applications which are being hosted in that particular blockchain, be it Ethereum, be it Polkadot, be it any other blockchain. So blockchain is an ecosystem in which it has its own applications running, and business applications running, and all those business applications are firing some or the other transactions, and all these transactions are basically changing the state of the blockchain. Okay, now when you change the state, then there has to be a mechanism to agree on the next state, for example. So it all started with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin started, then and of course you have to have a mechanism in which it is a fraud proof, people are not cheating, you should be able to find that. All these questions arise because when there is no entity which controls everything, then there has to be mechanism to make it foolproof. How do you do that? So I'll explain to you a consensus mechanism with which everything started in blockchain world, which was in Bitcoin, that they call it proof of work. Now, what they mean, and in fact, I have touched upon this point in one of the talks I was giving in Vizag, on-ground event as well. That, say, for example, I have to make a block. Now, if you allow me to make a block immediately without doing anything, then I can create, tens and thousands and lakhs of blocks immediately. There are bots available which can do that. But what happens? I introduce a logic here that, look, if you are going to create the next block, then you have to solve a puzzle. Now, what that puzzle is basically finding a particular hash with a certain number of leading zeros. And how do you arrive at that? You take all the transactions of the block, hash them, and then you take a nonce, that is number ones. You take that number and keep adding to the whole data. And finally, you arrive at that hash number, which has got certain number of leading zeros as required by the blockchain. Now, this is a process which takes a lot of time, and depending upon as the complexity of the blockchain transactions or as the state increases, the complexity keeps on increasing. Okay, so what really happens is basically that everybody tries to find that hash with a certain number of leading zeros, and the person who gets that, that the first, that person is, his block is considered, or her block is considered to be the block, which is a valid block, and everybody else, and that person goes and announces to the world in Bitcoin that, look, guys, I have got the next block, and everybody will take that block. They will validate what exactly he has done is all right or not, and finally, they will take that block. If they find it okay, then they will start building on that block. Okay, so what really happens that many times when you are near the block production time, then there is a lot of confusion there basically. Okay, people are not sure. I mean, there would be forks. Forks means multiple blocks coming at the same time. All those things are basically confusing there. But then this becomes clearer and clearer when you keep moving forward. Okay, now what happens after two blocks? The chances of your transaction being included in the block is, say, for example, 40%. But after you go and cross the sixth block, after that block that we are talking about, then your transaction inclusion is 99%, for example. So now, as and when you move forward and when you move away from the block that we are talking about, then the chances of your transaction being finalized is more and more. Now, this is called probabilistic finality, where once the block is formed, your transaction is included in the block. It does not mean that that transaction is final. Okay, it takes some blocks, further blocks to kind of do that. Then you will be saying, okay, now I am 99.99% sure that my transaction is final. Nobody will come and revert. Why is that? Because now from current block to the 10 blocks, you already have elapsed what 10 blocks, and each block, for example, if it takes 10 to 12 minutes to form, then you are talking about around 100 minutes already, has already elapsed. If somebody wants to go and change it, he has to go and do the hashing computation for all those blocks in between, and then come up with the 11th block, and then that block will be considered final. And there is another rule in Bitcoin which is called Nakamoto consensus, where it says that always the longest chain is the final thing. Okay, now if that happens, then people will always go for the longest chain, and that's how Bitcoin. And if you must understand this point, that in last 12 years, 13 years or 14 years, Bitcoin system as such hasn't really been hacked, and this system is so soundproof. But the problem is that in this whole process is that it is a very, very energy consuming process, and everybody tries to hash, and so much of energy consumption happens that it really became a big problem. That is where people came with an idea that, okay, can there be some better method in terms of sorry, better method to come up with this consensus without consuming so much of energy. And then there is another method that came, which is called proof of stake. Proof of stake, basically Ethereum, I was talking earlier, Ethereum 2.0 has migrated to proof of stake in the Ethereum 2.0 merge that happened last year. Proof of stake model is very simple. Instead of energy consumption, what people do there, that they stake their asset or tokens in the chain. Once you stake your tokens, then you will be depending upon how much stake you have, people will be selected at random from all the stakers, and whoever has got the more staked money, I mean, of course, they have got more chances of being selected as the person to create block. Okay. Now, nobody is hashing, nobody is doing all that right now. Now, this is a model. There are different flavors of proof of stake. So I'll not go into that because there are other things to talk about today. But what I will encourage is that, look, all these are very, very interesting concepts which really are evolving continuously. Okay. And you definitely should go and do a lot of reading to make sure that you understand some of these fundamentals in order to become a a better and efficient blockchain developer. Okay. Now, for example, let's talk about Polkadot. So Polkadot uses a mechanism which is called nominated proof of stake model, NPOS. Now, how does it differ? So in Polkadot system, what really happens? There are so many consensus mechanisms that our faculties have talked about, like Dave, Grandpa, all those things are there. But at the grassroots level of the consensus mechanism, Polkadot, what they say that there are validators who go and bond their money, they stake their money. Okay. And not only that, there is approximately, and Deepak Chaudhary can confirm to me, there are around 197 validators position, Deepak Chaudhary, almost something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it can be increase and decrease
Yeah,
according to the demand.
according to the demand. So what happens once you go and put your money into that, stake your money, then that is stage one. Then there are different nominators. Okay. Now those nominators put their money against these validators. So what really happens that, say, for example, I am a validator. I have put 100, dots token I have staked, and Deepak Chaudhary comes and he puts his weight behind me. He thinks that I am a good validator, so he will come and he will put his 100 dot tokens with me as the validator. So now I have got 200 dots token. Now whatever reward I get, okay, by the block production process, half of that will go to Deepak and half will come to me. Now, if I put 10,000, for example, dot token, and Deepak only puts 100 tokens, then he will get the reward percentage 100 by 10,000, and whatever 1%, whatever money that goes to Deepak. So I think these what really happens, and the beauty of the Polkadot consensus mechanism is that it really has got the the two I would say flavors of the consensus mechanism, in which it is also going to give you instant finality, where once the block is formed, it really becomes final. Also, it gives you a flavor of probabilistic finality, where it could also go to an extent where you can see the attributes of the probabilistic finality also. So the point what I'm trying to get at is that consensus mechanism is very, very important in all the blockchains. I will encourage, like Selva sir was showing yesterday, some of the documents, some of the video content. There are a lot of things which are available on the internet. Please spend time on these things. Once you understand these things, then the programming becomes pretty easier for you. And whatever you are coding, guys, that will make more sense to you. Why are you doing something, right? Unless you understand the fundamentals, it is very difficult for you to go and appreciate the coding part there. So that's what pretty much I wanted to cover today. You should appreciate what is consensus, why is consensus so important in decentralized world, how did it start with proof of work, what happens in proof of work, how did people in the world moved, they move from the proof of work to proof of stake, and how are there different flavors of proof of stake, where people are experimenting time and again, and everybody is trying to come up with some innovative solution to arrive at the next block determination. So that is pretty much Deepak from my side.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. That was quite insightful, and I'm sure while the conversation goes on to Selva sir and obviously Deepak Chaudhary, they will have a much larger overview of what we are trying to do here. So, Selva sir, Deepak Chaudhary, please take the conversation ahead and start working on it.
Thank you, Deepak. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So first off, let me tell you, I know you would have found yesterday's session a little difficult, and yeah, it is true that as the sessions go by, the upcoming sessions will get a little more difficult, because now you're going into the building stage. So the rest fundamentals, whatever we have done, they are the stepping stones for you to get into this. Now, constantly we are available for you to support in case of if in case of there are any issues. And I did see one person saying, some facing difficulties in installation process. So we so we have already shown that you can do so using the okay. So first off, okay, so I just wanted to reiterate the fact that you need to go into the documentation. So let me just share my screen. Okay. You need to come to the substrate documentation site and go to the developers. Or if you just scroll down in here, I think they have, okay, so you can start coding with the docs and tutorials like that. Okay, and here it is, hands-on. Okay, build a local blockchain. So start with this. Okay, start with this. So this is the tutorial that you need to go into. Okay, it's very nice. Step by step they have given. Yeah, you will certainly, in most cases, you may find, some sort of issues coming up during the installation. Yes, that's true. And you can sort it out, or if you're not able to sort it out, we are there to help you out. So please connect with us over Discord, okay, wherein we are available 24/7. Okay, so how to build a local blockchain? So again, remember, if you have a Linux-based system or Mac OS, you can do it directly there. On Windows, I do not recommend it because many of the things, sometimes, there are a lot of issues in the library. So it's better to have a virtual machine either on the local system, or you can create a virtual machine in the cloud and then you can play around with that as well. Okay, the choice is yours. Right now, if you want to do development on your local machine, virtual machine with a local system, please ensure that you have at least a quad-core processor. Okay, Core i7 would be better. Core i5 you will be able to work, but it will run very, very slowly. Okay, but yeah, if you have patience, you can do that. Okay, but Core i7, Core i9 is what is recommended, and your system needs to have a minimum of 16 GB, because at least if you give 8 GB to the virtual machine, your virtual machine will run comfortably. Okay, right. So this is building of the blockchain. So if you see here, they have given all the instructions. Let me just quickly go through it. One is you need to clone this repo. Okay, go into that repo. This is complete, so you don't have to build this. It's already built. Okay, directly you can start. So when you do compile the node template, so you do cargo build release. Remember, if you are doing a build, it will take about 2 hours. Okay, around 2 hours or sometimes 3 hours based on your machine configuration. Okay, but so after you have built, you can run this command to run your local blockchain. That's all there is. So essentially, it's a 3-step. But before you do that, okay, you have to have all the prerequisites installed, right? So essentially, you have to have all the Rust toolchain installed. You will need the ID as well. Okay. So VMware or virtual machine. Okay, anything will do. Okay. You can use VirtualBox or VMware Player or VMware Workstation, however you want it. Okay. Anything will do. Right. And yeah, internet connection is needed because when you do this, cargo build, it will download all the dependencies. Okay, all the libraries will be downloaded onto your machine. So be prepared for that. Okay, so it will take some time, right? And then you can start it out. So there will be some teething issues when you are actually starting from scratch. Definitely it will be there. Can't do anything about that. Okay, so it's all part of your learning. Okay. Right. So
Silva sir, I just wanted to ask one question. Sorry.
Sure. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So how many of you have been able to do the installation so far?
Can you just raise your hand and let us know how many of you have actually done the dev environment setup. So we see one attended, two was there. So we see 4 hands: Shankar, Bharat, Shivkumar, and Asya Zameen. Anybody else? So we see only 5 hands in this.
And how about others? Others have not gotten time to do this, or you are facing some issues. Maybe you can put that in Q&A.
Yeah, please put that in Q&A.
My question is, Divya, is that how many of you have been able to set up your development environment?
Because this is important. Without this, you cannot proceed any step further.
Yeah, so my question is that whatever yesterday we showed you in terms of setting up your development environment, because now you are going to be building in it, right? So you need to anyway have your dev environment set up, correct? So I was asking whether you are facing an issue. You have to have your machine ready, right? Where you can go and start coding. I mean, that really has to be done, correct?
Divya is saying, I didn't get the question. I don't know which question you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was explaining to her. That's what I was explaining to her, that whether Divya, have you set up your dev environment or not? I mean, if you have set up, it's fine. If you have not gotten time, try that. If you are facing an issue, then try to raise that in the Discord server, I think, so that people will be able to see that and help you with that. That was my question.
And also, someone is asking, what do we need to install? The first thing is, if you are having a Linux or Mac OS system, okay, you don't have to install anything. You can just install basically the Rust environment, the Visual Studio Code for the IDE, and the rest of it you can just follow along. Okay, things will be okay. But if not, suppose if you are having a Windows-based laptop, it would be recommended that you run it in a virtual machine, either on your local system or in the cloud. You can sign up for AWS, you'll get 75 hours of EC2 instance, and you could do that in the free tier. Okay, so you could do that, but that will require some additional stuff if you have not used AWS. So you can just use VirtualBox or VMware on your local machine, create a virtual machine in there, install Linux on it, and then you can start working with that. The other question is, yes, sir,
yeah, and sorry, yeah, so no, and people who have missed yesterday's session, they can always go and watch the session. We have already uploaded all these sessions in our YouTube, and we had shared the link also yesterday. Deepak Singh will share the link today also, where you can go and watch all the sessions which are there in our YouTube channel, including yesterday's.
Yes, and I've just FYI everyone, we also have shared the Notion page link where you can find the bullet points of all the sessions that we have covered, and also the details that we have in those sessions. So you can just click on the link mentioned over there, and you'll be redirected to the YouTube channel. I'll also put the YouTube playlist link over here.
Yeah, also I need to answer one question of Shiva. Like, I am doing in Windows using WSL. Do I get any issue in future? So you can, if you are able to compile it fully, then you will not face any issue in WSL. You can continue using WSL in Windows. And also any other guy which are facing in installing the VM or virtual machine, they also use WSL.
So you can do WSL and use it, but I have not done it. So frankly speaking, because I don't use WSL much, because I like to work with full-fledged virtual machine. So WSL, definitely you can give it a try. I did have a lot of issues with the Ubuntu. Okay, so I switched over to Fedora, and I haven't had any issue with Fedora 37. Okay, I tried with the Ubuntu 18.04 and 20.04, but there were some issues which took a lot of time to sort it out, and still I wasn't satisfied. So When I tested out on Fedora, it was working absolutely fine. Okay, and what is cargo build release, cargo build package, no template, and then release is both getting errors and when compiling. Okay, right. Then while doing cargo build release, so again, remember those of you who are having us, please use Discord to connect with us, because we will need to know the Ubuntu release or whichever Linux you are using, what is the release of that, what pre-installations you have done. So all these things contribute to the success or failure of the build of the node template. Okay.
So guys, if you are facing in installing and set up the part, you can refer the Substrate Exchange website. I'll give the link in the chat, and you can refer this. Most of your question have already answered there.
And Deepak, I think we also have some FAQs, right? I think we have shared it earlier as well.
Yes, sorry.
We also have some FAQs that were shared earlier, right?
FAQs.
No.
Yeah, we have done it in CEP1. Yeah, we can do it
Okay.
for coming session also.
Okay. So guys, let me walk you through the next Pallet addition to your code. So basically, I just want to show you here. I have already, rebuilt. As you can see here, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see this finished release, okay, targets, and see it has taken 41 minutes and 16 seconds on a system which has, I have given this virtual machine 8 gigs of RAM and 4 CPU cores. So with that, it has taken this much. Of course, yes, the internet speed also is sort of different. So with just 2 CPUs, it took almost 2 to 3 hours earlier when I tried that. Okay, so let me tell you that the basic blockchain instructions that you already see there. So starting the local node, okay, building the local blockchain. Basically, there is a pre-built node template available, okay, substrate node template, which is what has been downloaded using Git. And then what I'm doing is I'm coming to the node template directory and doing a cargo build release, which I've already done. So that's why it did not take much time, only just verification, that's all. Otherwise, it will do all the downloads. Okay, and then to run our blockchain, we just use this target release node template -dev because we want to run it in the development mode. Okay. When running development mode, it is continuously producing blocks. Will it stop or should I continue in the background? Okay, Shivkumar. See, the substrate blockchain, it automatically generates a block every 6 seconds. So that's how it has been programmed. Okay. So it will generate those, and you can just stop it whenever you want to stop the network. Just press Control C in the terminal window, and you're good to go. Next time when you start release, start the node template again in development environment, it will clear out all the previous data. So don't worry about that. Okay. Right. So you should see an output like this. So that's what we are going to see. Can you point out all other things needs to be installed like Node, Rust? Again, remember, see, when you're asking these questions, it simply means that you haven't actually spent time on looking into the docs. So when you go to the quick start, everything is given there. What you need to install, what are the prerequisites required, how you need to install, everything is given over there. Okay. Right. So please, spend some time on the document. Otherwise, you're not going to go any further. Okay, beyond this. Remember that. So if you go to the quick start, okay, you can see here in the quick start, you can go to the fundamentals, or you can go to the developer's home and then the docs, then Rust docs, what all you need. Okay, everything is given there. Okay, so when you check whether Rust is installed by running rust show. And then if you want to see the install, there is a documentation link here also. All those things you need to install. Okay. So now let me just go back up here to getting started and building a local blockchain. So I have already done this build and I can show you now how it is working. I'm using Fedora 37. Okay, please remember that, right? Okay, so all I need to do is just, so I have this /target release node template dev, no sorry, node template -f dev. So this is here is your target. Inside that there is the release, and here you will find the node template. This is it. Okay. So this is what is going to run. So let me just run this one. Okay. So now it is starting to generate the blocks. And also what we are going to do is we are going to open up another terminal window and add a new tab. And so I am also going to go into the front end. I just want to show you front end template. I'll go there. Okay. And I'm going to run it. So to run it, I'm just going to use command yarn start. This will basically start the UI. So as far as code is concerned, I'm not going to touch the UI code. If you want to play around, it's basically a React.js application that has been developed. A very simple React.js UI there. So it is starting the development server. Essentially, what it will do is it will start the server and run the localhost site in Firefox. So starting the dev server. Once it has compiled everything, it will start off, and then you will be able to see the UI. Okay. So this is your scripted front-end template. So once it goes up and running, you should be fine. So now it is connected to Substrate. There is some UI issue with Fedora, with the startup. So the background, it keeps flickering and stuff like that. It is now loading accounts. Yeah, there you go. So you see this UI is coming up. Let me take this and move it onto the, hopefully there the flickering should not happen much. Yeah, it's still flickering. I have no idea whether it is, so now you can see here, as the blocks are getting generated, it is showing, say, what is the current block, what is the finalized block, okay. This is the account we are using. These are all the balances associated with each account, okay. This is your transfer, pallet, which allows you to transfer money from one account to another account. And then there is a pallet interactor. And let me just, okay, so there's a string. So you can see if I go to the pallet, so I have, unfortunately, again, there are some UI issues in this browser. So let's see. But we can do that from the. So this UI echo, somehow there is some problem with the Fedora. I don't know whether it's going to happen with other browsers as well. Anyway, so let's continue. Okay. So if you see the front end code, so this. Okay. So in the palette interactor, you can select which palette you want to cover. Actually, this is a drop down. Okay, so the entire drop down comes down, but somehow here it doesn't work like that. So because of the UI issue, so when you come in here, you can basically select which palette you want that balances. So I'm using the down arrow key to change over the grandpa custom like that. So I can change over from here, right? Okay. So I can actually select the palette with the palette interactor. So maybe I'll just those and check this out. So meanwhile, I will show you how the next palette is added. Okay. So okay. So I'll go to the terminal. So while that is going on, so first off, let me just show you. So this is So if you see in the UI, basically you will not see the pallet nick, okay, in the pallet interactor, okay. So until unless you have actually added and then you have enabled it, okay. So you will not see that. So what do we do is like this. So for now, what I'm going to do is I will just stop the blockchain. So just press Control C in here and it should stop. Okay, that's it. It's as simple as that. So obviously your UI is going to reflect that there is no blockchain running. So you will see that if I go in here and so this will get basically it should show an empty page. Okay. Error connecting to substrate. So the WebSocket connection is actually failed. Okay, so I'm going to close this now and go back. Okay. Now, what I want to do is to show you how the mixed palette can be added. Okay. And I'm going to use the documentation step by step, and I'm going to show you how these things actually work. Okay. So that you know how to make use of this documentation to play around and then build your own customizations on top of that. Okay. So what you need to do is on this up. Yeah. So Deepak.
Yeah.
So we can do one thing anyway. So addition of the palette will come in this part itself, right?
Yeah. I'll just quickly explain this part.
Yeah. So you can do that. Okay. Yeah. So the custom palette and how you need to add and what are the different areas you need to keep in keep in mind. Right? Okay. You can go ahead. So I'll stop the share.
My screen is visible, right?
Yeah.
My audible is also perfectly
Yeah, audio is also okay.
Yeah. Let me answer some of the questions. The answer for Bharat is, can we have a look of glimpse? Like if you want to see how many pallets and what are the pallets we are using currently in the chain. So for that, you need to go to the runtime and go to the lib.rs, and when you see here, you are using the pallet aura, pallet grandpa, like Praveen sir already discussed about it, what grandpa will do, like it finalize the block, and pallet timestamp, pallet balance to transfer the balance to the another account. So likewise, you can see what are the default pallets which we are using in the chain. Okay. Can you point out other things you need to install? Like, let me tell you the whole process for installing. Okay. For installing, like I need to cover all the Linux, macOS, most of you have a Windows system. Do you have any doubt? Yeah, but I'll show you how you can read the pallets and all. For window, what you need to do is, first you need to install the WSL, and you can follow along these steps. Okay. You need to install the Rust. You can check the Rust up, that how what is the version of Rust is, and you can, when you show Rust up, then you should see this type of logs. Okay, if you are seeing this type of logs, that yeah, you are you have already installed the Rust in your system. If you are facing any error, then you need to figure out all the steps again. Rest all Mac OS or Linux, all the steps are same. You can follow each steps one by one, and you will, I think you will not see any error. And if you see any issue in that, I have shared the link. You can go through it, and there you can find all the answers you might face any problem. Okay, if you again face any problem, you can ask us on the Discord. Okay, this is the installation part. Let me paste this. Just a minute. I'll solve all the doubts one by one. For reading about the pallets, what you can do is just go to the parity substrate. You can go to the frame. Here you can find all the pallets which we can integrate in our chain. Like we have by default Aura, Babe. You can find all the pallets here. I'll paste this link also. Pallets. Okay, so I think we can start today's agenda. Okay, today we are going to build a pallet. Okay, let's assume a business functionality that we need to make a community where a user can add to that community and they can remove it from that community. Okay, we need to build a community. In there, a user can add or remove. So to achieve that functionality, we need to build a pallet. Okay. And when you clone the repository substrate template, then you will find I have changed the name of the template to club member. You will find a template here. Okay, in there, go to the lib.rs. I have already all the codes. Let me start. Let me just a minute. Okay, we can start from the scratch. How to build a pallet, all the things. Okay. Just a second. Okay, let's start. Actually, I am not seeing the Q&A. If Silva sir, if you see any question to answer by me, you can please.
Yeah, sure. So Bharat, as you are asking for documentation of Pallet, just now Deepak has given you the link. You can go to the subset GitHub repository, and there you can get all the information that you need.
Okay, let's start by using the palette. We are using the palette and all the types which we will be using throughout this. Okay. Okay. Suppose okay, note that various type can be automatically imported using the frame support, and we'll import this here. Use how to import this. We simply write the use and frame support inherent and vector. We will use a vector in this palette. That's why we are importing the vector. Okay. Frame support. Okay, let me ask one question. The problem statement is clear to all, right? If anyone have any doubt in problem statement, you can ask. Let me statement also. Okay. So what we need to achieve is we need to make a community where we can add a user and remove a user. That is a very simple thing. Okay. And this function is only performed by the sudo, that is the administrator. Okay, let me type the problem statement here. Only sudo is able to add and only sudo is able to remove the user. Now it's clear. Guys, fast. If you didn't understand the problem statement, you can't be able to understand the solution. Yeah, Bhuvan, that's correct. Okay, let's continue. Palette reload.
So, Bhuvan, as you're saying, so this is basically a creation of a, let's say there's a club and there's an administrator for the club who has the rights to add and remove a certain person. That's all. Okay. So because we are adding persons and their account, so obviously what we need to do is that we need to have a vector so that it can grow as the number of persons grows, and it can shrink when the number of persons is reduced or the person is removed. So only admin can do this addition of a person and deletion of a person from the group. So I hope that is clear to you now.
Okay. As I said, these two we are using to import all the types which we'll use in the palette. Config. System. Okay, this is a mandatory. We need to define the config trade. What is it? It defines the configuration options for the palette. Okay, if let's say if we need to update something, like we need to have a condition that we can have at max 10 members. Okay, so that functionality will do it in runtime, and we can take this number into the config trade here. There's an extra condition you can add. Okay, let me comment this. Palette and definition. Okay, let me define the events. Whatever the working is performed in the palette, is there any updation or anything is occurring in the chain, we can catch it by the events. Now what we are doing here is we are tapping into the events. We are binding this. Okay. This is palette. This is also a mandatory. Why? It allow you to specify palette informations. Okay, we will be specifying or defining the palettes. Just a minute. Palette generate store. Now what we are doing here is we are generating the store trait. If we have we declare any storage, then this will create a trait so that palette can see what are the storage there. Pallet without storage. Now we are defining the struct. Okay, now it's time to declare the storage. Pallet storage. Pallet getter. This function we'll use in the test case. Club member. Okay. Sub type. Club members. Yes. This is the generic. Okay. What we need to store is we need to store all the users into a vector. Okay. How do we define this? Vector of account ID. And if we try to get the values from the club member, this will returns the values. And if we like, there you have 2-3 options: option query, value query. In option query, if you have any error, then it return error, otherwise it returns the result. But now we are just returning the values. Pallet events. Pallet. Now we are defining the events. Now you will understand what events are. Let's say if we add the member into the club member, add the user into the club member, then and how we do know that user is added or not? So we just give a message, member added. Member is added in the club. Okay. Okay. Likewise, if a member is removed from the club member, then we can message member is removed. Okay. see after. Now it's time to define the errors we can face throughout this. Users that something went wrong. Okay. For that we use the macro error. What error we can expect here is like if we add Alice into the club member, right? And if we try to again add the Alice into the club member, so it is already added, so we need to pop out the error. Okay, what it should be already a member. You can comment it out also, already a member. And likewise, if we remove the Alice into the from the club member, and we again try to remove the Alice, so that should not happen. So this we can say not member. Okay. Now we define the logic of our palette. Implement PS first we can define we need to define a two function. Okay, add member or remove member. Let's first define the add a member. Okay, function add member, and we can take the parameter as origin 4, and who need to be added in the club member, just take the account ID. It is a return the dispatch result. What this will do is, if we face any error, this will return the error, otherwise return the result. Okay, how to check? Like we have set the condition only sudo is able to add the user. So for this condition, we'll check is ensure root. If the command is come from the root, then we can say, yeah, this is the sudo. And the question mark here is if we see like this is not a root, then we can simply return it from the here, and we can say a bad origin. Okay, let's get the members. Now this club member has all the members which is present in the club member. Initially it has 0. Okay, let's see the location. We save it in the sorted order. And let me complete this. I'll explain this. We are binary searching, and if we okay. Okay, close this. What this line means is we are binary searching into the club members of who, which is going to be added. And if it is already present in the members, we'll just return that it is already present by this question mark. Okay, and if it is not present in the club member, then it returns the proper location where it needs to be added. Insert location and now that we have added into the club member, we need to update into the storage. Event, and when we successfully added into the storage, we just deposit the event that member is added. Then we can return the okay. Okay, so this is the function for adding, and just quickly function for the remove. Progression for the teacher account ID. These both functions are pretty much same, so I'll quickly add this. Here also we are checking the, it should be a sudo. Okay. Here also what we are doing is we are checking if it is present or not. And if it is not present, we just simply say not a member. And if it is present, then we can remove it. Member dot remove location of this. Again, deposit the event that we have removed the member. Can just copy. Okay. Yeah, one thing also we need to define the weights. We can define it. Let me. This thing we are doing it for WhatsApp. I think it is good. Let me compare this. Okay. Should be okay. Now it will build successfully. Now, if anyone have any doubt, can ask. Total confusing. Okay. What is the origin? Function add member. Origin is basically like when I show you the demo of this, I'll show you what is the origin there. Okay, if it is sudo, then this function or this functionality will be added, or if it is not, then this will not occur. Just a minute, is compiling. Okay, let me revise this. Repeat this one. Okay. So what we are doing here is anonymous attendee. Have you got the role statement? Yeah, please answer.
So Shivakumar, you are asking how to start this project. So everything is given in the build your own blockchain, okay, from scratch, and then the next Pallet configuration. Start with that, and then you can come to this where Deepak Chaudhary is showing how to build a Pallet and then add it to the runtime. Okay.
Anonymous attendee. If you have confusion, then please reply. Okay, let me revise this one. Okay, this is the default thing which we need to add. Here, what we are doing is we are defining the storage part. We will be adding the accounts in the vector, and these are the events. If we add the member, then it shows that member is added. Otherwise, if we remove, then it shows member is removed. Likewise, these are the errors which we can face. Like if we have already allies in the club member and we try to again add this user into the member, then it shows already a member. These functionality I'll show you in the demo. You will catch up there. Okay, we have defined two functions, add member and remove member. In add member, there are two parameters, origin and who is going to be the add into the club member. Okay, first we have checked, is it a root? Root means a sudo. If it is it, and if it is not, we just return it from here that it is not a root. Just return the error from here. Okay, we get all the members into this variable, and on this variable we are searching that the who which is going to be added is present or not. If it is present, then we just return it from here that it is already present in the club member, and we are not going to add again. Okay, if it is not present in the club member, then we'll have a location, appropriate location when it needs to be added. We are adding at this location who. Then we are putting it back to the storage. Again, this thing we have done it in remove member. Let me show you in the UI how this will work. Okay, our chain is running. You can test it. Yep. You can see here also that we are building a block in average of 6 seconds. Okay, let me see what are the functionalities we have added. For that, we are going to the extrinsics. And yep, we have added a condition that we already added or removed from the sudo. For that, we need to go to the sudo, and here is the column member. We can see two functions here: add member or remove member. And you can see who. Okay, let me clear all the things. Okay, here who is the root. We are not specifying any origin here. Origin is a root, and who is a Bob. Okay, just try it. Submit it. Okay, this is successfully done. And how to check? We have added a events. If you remember that if we add any member, we should see some message. Club member dot member added. Okay. Okay. Again, we have added a corner test case. Like if we want to add again this. You can see the error already member. Guys, if you are facing any problem, you can quickly ask in the Q&A. Okay, you can see here also. Okay, already a member detail. Oh, yeah. Let's just add and try to. It's already there. How to check in the storage? For checking all the storage, you need to go to the change state and go to the pallets club member, and you can see all the members here. We have, let's see it is Bob or not. 5FHN. Okay. Okay. 5FHN. Okay. Let's try to remove this. Remove member. Now you also see the events that we have removed the members. And if we see the storage part, there should not be any member there. Yep, we have nothing here. Yeah, there one corner test case also we can try it. We have nothing in the storage, and we are trying to remove Bob again. Let's see, we should get error. Can see. Now, if anyone have any confusion, can ask. And if you understand, just type yes or no. Guys, am I audible, right?
So Shivkumar, you are saying you have WSL open to where to write code, sir. So first of all, you go to the basic setup. Okay, what you need, the Rust and the toolchain, the Visual Studio Code, install all of those. Okay, for running the front end, you will of course need if you want to work without front end also, that is fine. So then you have to install, once you have done that, go to the building blockchain tutorial over there, and there step by step everything is there. Okay.
Any confusion? Okay. I can show you, I can test this by the writing some test cases also. The chain will stop. You can see here also. Minimize this. Maximize this. I start in that mode, then what should do next? Okay, let me solve your problem. Where you clone your substrate node template. Shiva. Okay, let me start writing the test cases. We'll use the mock, all the functionalities of mock, and use what is this assert noob and assert. Okay, I'll tell you. Let's write first test case. Function add member to this is something the advanced part. If you understand like from till that part, that is fine. How can I access those all things in ID? Yes, yes, Ritika. Here I have told you that if there is no there is a member which is not present in the club member, then it finds the appropriate location according to the sorted manner. So Bharat, to access this, you will see this type of file where you clone it, and you can just click and open with, and whatever your ID is, you can see all the files there. Okay. Sign. Okay, what we are doing here is we are trying to add the member and we are checking all the functionalities are working fine or not. Okay, here we are passing the root and we are saying that first user should be added. Let's try to to execute this we need to add this into the live.rs. Okay. Any doubt till now?
Guys, there's nothing to worry about because see, you are seeing, okay, how can we access all those things in ID after running local blockchain? Okay, fine. We'll come to that. So basically in the, you will not have Visual Studio Code. Instead, you will have to use a VI editor because that's a completely terminal-based distribution that you run in WSL. Okay, if you're using WSL, then that's the case. Other than that, so you can use terminal-based editors like VI or Vim. Okay, you can install that. You can just run it and use that. Okay. The other thing that I want to mention is everything set up. I start demo, then what to do next. Okay, so Shivkumar, basically that's all. You need to check whether the blocks are getting generated and finalized. If everything is fine, then in that case you can start working with adding a pallet and then checking it out. Okay, so if you don't have this, so you could actually run the front end template as well, but you will need to access, since that is running inside of the terminal. So from your host machine, you will have to use some port forwarding in order to be able to access that site. But yeah, it is possible. Because if you need help, contact us through Discord, and we'll be more than glad to help you out.
I'll just add one more test case. Guys, any doubt, any query you can ask. Club member, what we are checking in this is if a member is already present in the club member, then should it return the error or not? That thing we are checking from the test case. Now it is present, and we are trying to again try to add this. Okay, for assert loop, what it's doing is it basically compare both the parts, this one and this one. Okay. Let me copy this one. And it should give us the error. Already member. This is the command to run the test cases. Cargo test test. This is the file name. Okay, we have an error here. This. Okay, guys, any doubt? Just ask. Okay, let me tell you the today's assignment. What you need to do in assignment is, here what we are doing is we are removing the member from the pseudo. Okay, so you need to make another function where a member which is present in the club member is itself remove itself. Okay, let me just give the example. Let's say in club member we have Alice and Bob. Okay, so Alice and Bob both should have a permission to remove himself. Okay, now what we are doing is only sudo can remove this. Any confusion in the assignment?
So guys, let me rephrase it again. So basically, you already have club, okay, where the membership is added and removed by the sudo. So that we have already seen. Now the additional functionality is if you are a club member and you are not the admin, okay, then you can remove your own account but not anyone else's account. Okay, so a member can basically delete their own account, not anyone else's account. Addition and deletion, both these things can only be performed by sudo on any account that that the admin wants. But a user account holder can only remove their own account. So you need to basically add a new functionality where a club member can remove their own account. And if they try to remove somebody else's account, it will not work. I hope the statement is clear.
I think that the thing for today.
Okay, thank you, Deepak, for the wonderful, introduction. Yeah, I know, guys. It will seem confusing and daunting. Believe me, anything that you start out new will seem difficult. See, it's again a matter of practice, and more practice. And because these are the technologies that they are very niche. In fact, there are not many people actually working in this domain. So you are an elite group of people who are getting into this. Again, remember, this is a new technology. It will take you some amount of practice and experience. Okay, so there's nothing to worry about because our entire team is there with you to help you out. And Unfortunately, I'm not seeing, we are not seeing much of interaction over Discord. Is there any interaction that you've seen in Discord, Deepak?
One or two.
Hardly. Yeah, that's all. You see, one or two. It's been so many days that we are actually having these discussions, right? Your entire Q&A can be addressed to if you come and come up with your problems in the Discord. The thing is, in Discord, when you put it up, everybody will come to know. Those who have the difficulty but have not asked that question. Yes, one of the important things is, okay. Okay, so Ritika will answer that question later. So for now, right now, again, remember, put your difficulties in Discord. Daily, we are displaying the Discord QR code. Hardly anyone is interacting in Discord. That is the platform we have built for you to give you 24/7 support. Literally, throughout the day and night, okay, there is somebody, okay, looking at the Discord channel, and they can provide you input. So please use that platform. You are not at all utilizing that platform. That's very unfortunate. And believe me, tomorrow when you go into an organization, you will be required to use Discord all the time for communication among the team members as well as the different forums and stuff like that. So please make use of Discord as the platform to discuss your questions. Answers put up there will be available for everybody to view. You can actually build a complete knowledge base on the Discord itself. Okay, so please use that.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Deepak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me answer this question. In test.rs, the second function, doesn't require the member's ID to be searched. Yeah, I'm not getting a question. Let me rephrase this. What we are doing here is we are first adding the member, okay, and as a noob, what it check is if we are trying to add again, then this should be returned. So this will check whether this or this is equal or not. Let's say I remove not member. Okay. Let's say what happened in the test case. You can see this failed because here this returns already member and we are mapping we were mapping to the not a member. Yeah, okay. Anyone has any other doubt? Let me give you the today's quiz. And
Hey Deepak, before the quiz begins, can we just tell them about the GitHub?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, let's finish that in next few minutes, and then so that they don't have any distraction and they don't have to wait for GitHub later on.
Yeah.
So guys, the context is basically that this time your assignment has to be done, submitted on GitHub, and the link of your assignment will be sharing with us. Now, these assignments are the most critical assignments that you will do. Do not worry about being perfectly right in your work, but your submission is going to be extremely important. So make sure all of you submit it, because that will show the seriousness that you guys are committed to in this sessions, and that will also affect your presence on the overall timeline and the agenda of the CEP for getting your certifications. So in case some of you have missed sessions and some of you might have joined the sessions later on, if you're completing these assignments that we are talking about right now, especially right now, then it'll give you brownie points and it'll help you come off from that lag. Yes, Deepak.
Okay, so what you need to do is, how many of you are aware about how to create new repository? You need to create your new repository, and then you need to push your code, and you need to give this link into the assignment. There we can see all the code. Yeah. If anyone has any doubt how to create new repository, you can ask.
Can we just show them all, Deepak, if it's not a big task?
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. And guys, if you do not have a GitHub account, then that's a serious flaw that will affect your not just these sessions, but even in your professional careers.
You are not in the right industry.
Yeah, then you are not understanding what we are trying to achieve here. Please create. If you do not have a GitHub account, that's a big mistake. You need to create a GitHub account. It's extremely important. The entire community and coders and all repositories you'll find on GitHub. Just create the account right away. Do not deal anymore. Yes, Deepak, please go.
Okay. Go to your repositories, and then you can see the new, and you can type any name like demo, and this should be a public. If you select the private, then we'll not be able to see your code. This should be public, and you can just create repository. Okay. Then you need to do some task in your code, just like if you are here, just back. You need to run all these commands one by one, and you can see, you will see that your code is pushed here. Then you need to share this link to the assignment. And if you face any problem in pushing the code, you can refer YouTube. Thousands of videos you can find how to push your code.
Yeah, so Deepak, if I'm not wrong, today's assignment they will have to submit on GitHub, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so guys, you also do one more thing. You should the earlier assignments that you guys have submitted, put that also on GitHub in separate repository, right, Deepak?
Yeah.
Yeah, so put them as well. Yeah.
Yeah. For today's code, if you're wondering how to fetch today's code, you can go to the IBC media, like, and I'll make new repository there, and you can clone my code from there, and you can edit according to your assignment. And there you will find all the codes, like session 4, session 5, all codes are there. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Let me paste link also.
Are we inviting the assignment links on the Google form, Deepak?
Are we?
No, like the assignment, the GitHub link that they have to share, they will have to put it on the Google form.
Assignment.
Google form. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just share that, please, with us, with everyone. And let's start the quiz after that. So guys, you have time, just all of you who are new here, you have time until the 6 p.m. on the day the next session is. So for example, the session is tomorrow at 7 p.m. You have time till 6 p.m. to complete your assignment. So when you're doing the quiz, don't be worried about the assignment, but once you're done with the quiz and whenever you are ready to get back to the work, so make sure you complete the assignment as well. So guys, all of these will be considered during your participation certificate, the education certificate and also the internship certificates. So try to do all of these assignments. Also, uh, if you have not been able to attend our sessions before, uh, do not worry. If you show the commitment of trying these assignments, even if it's wrong, it's okay. We will help you out. If you have questions, like Selva sir and Deepak have already addressed it, that you have to put your questions on Discord. So we will address it for you. We will help you out. We are trying to handhold you, but that doesn't mean that you do not have to take in the effort. We will not be able to teach you we can teach you everything, but then that will take a lot of time, and that amount of per person handholding will not be possible. But yes, once you're trying something, once you're trying to experiment, when you're trying to build something or trying to learn something new, and in the process, if you face any challenges, any hurdles, then definitely just put the query out and we will help you out. Yeah, so try to use the maximum, try to do everything that we are trying to say here. It's for your own benefit, and you'll trust me, you'll take out uh, a knowledge of such width that you yourself will not be able to imagine in coming 1.5 months when we finish the entire building process. So stick with us, do all the assignments, try all the assignments, finish all the quizzes, attempt. When you are attempting, you'll learn in the process, and obviously later on you can ask questions to figure out how a particular question or answer had to be answered in case you were wrong. Yes, Deepak, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, we are done. I have shared quiz link also in the chat and assignment link. Both.
Yeah, guys. So the assignment link is there. As I've said, you have time till 6 p.m. tomorrow to finish your assignment. This time you'll have to put in the your GitHub link where you put your code basically, and then you put the link over here, like Deepak has already explained. Yeah, so just FYI, the quiz has begun. It will be on for next 30 minutes. So everyone, once you are done, we'll be closing the call in next couple of minutes, but your quiz will be active. So make sure you start working on it and you finish it as soon as possible. And you can keep signing off as you finish the quiz, or you're free to sign off. But make sure that you complete the quiz, because there will be no, we'll come to know that you have not completed the quiz after attending the session, and that will be a little negative negative marking for you all, basically. So please send the quiz and assignment. Oh yeah, so after you had put the message, I had already shared the links again. Where do we share our repository links? So you just have to share it on the assignment link that we have shared. So there is the question where the question says that you need to make a function in which a user that is present in the community can remove itself. So in the answer, you have to paste your link. All right. So yeah, that's how we have to do that. Yeah, and guys, those who do not have an assignment link or quiz link, I see that you guys ask some of the IBC team members on the next day. I don't know why. If you are part of the session, then you have to make sure that you get the link from here itself. You can't keep messaging people, and we have already told you that if you want to ask questions when the session is on, put the doubts here. And in Discord, if you're asking for links a few hours later and on the next day, then it doesn't make sense, right? It's waste of energy for all of you. So the links are shared here. Use that link. And don't try to find links on the next day if you are already part of the session. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, is there anyone who does not have the assignment link or quiz link? If yes, just let me know.